All right, we're live. It's the Spinnin Backfist show for Thursday, July 28th. If you're watching on YouTube and not listening on the podcast feed, and it looks like we're just texting right now, it's because we're retweeting the show, making sure people come in, watch the live show. We're here to talk Contender Series, UFC 277, some headlines. I spoke to Dana since our last show, so there's a couple things like straight off that interview we could talk about. I feel like we could start with Contender Series because it was 2 days ago. The Tuesday night Contender Series is back, and the first episode did not really live up to the previous seasons of like exciting fights, amazing fights, and it lit a fire under Dana White's ass, which then made him light a fire under all of the fighters' asses.
I was gonna say not our words, Dana's words.
Yeah,
I would agree with him, but yeah, he was not happy. He even got
pissed.
He specifically said how he got Lorenzo Fertitta to come.
Yeah,
he never leaves his house, doesn't go anywhere, and got him to come, and then was like, he literally said, "I owe you one."
Yeah,
because the fight stunk until the last one.
Joe Pyfer, though,
our guy Lee's boy came with a massive left hook knockout.
We were saying like, oh, if he loses, are we going to count it towards the gym? Is it an undefeated? Because it's not a UFC fight. We of course we can count it towards the gym because he didn't lose. Nope. He came in with a mission.
He looked good.
He had previously fought in the Contender Series. For those that don't know, brutally broke his arm.
Yep.
And they were showing the rehab process. He went through some shit to come back. Like he had stitches all from his bicep down to his forearm. It looked nasty. And man, he fought like he wanted to be there. And then afterwards, when he was just screaming at Dana, got to the point where Dana was like, all right. You're like, you're going to get the contract.
I loved he was like, thank you for the fucking opportunity.
Yeah.
Just screamed at him. Honestly, but to his credit, like it was not some fluke knockout either. I think he clearly was winning the fight the entire time. And honestly, the thing kind of coming in was that his opponent, Ozzy Diaz, was kind of known as like the better striker.
Yep.
LFA middleweight champion. For those, it's like probably one of the best lower tier promotions there is. Be champion, that's a pretty big deal. So to go knock out the guy like that's very, very impressive.
And even with Lorisenko afterwards, like they couldn't shut him up. He just kept talking like,
yeah,
follow your dreams. I'm going to say that because I'm corny, you know. And he just like kept going and going and going and going. Got to the point where they were like, all right, congrats. We'll see you next time.
And
man. Get out of here.
I also
appreciated
the guy I can't remember the name now. I'm trying to blank. The guy he lost to in the connection where he broke his arm. Stoltzfus, yes. Yeah. Stoltzfus. He literally said if he's still basically under contract, I want that fight back. I want to fight him again.
I love that. The guy is like bred for the UFC in terms of he got a great finish, knew how to do the call out afterwards, wanted to, spread a nice positive message. It was worth it just for, I feel like the Contender Series, watching the whole night was worth it for that. There were some crazy rounds here and there. What was the fight we were texting about? The third round of it was so crazy. There was almost a banana split, almost a twister.
That was with Bazooka. That was Bazooka,
yeah.
He almost
Sarah's
got
guy.
and then kind of reversed on top.
He might get signed after that.
I thought he might have too, even though I think he was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
He also was a pretty big favorite. And I know Dana, even though he said how he goes in like very clear, obviously everyone knows he's very good friends with Matt Serra. Bazooka's in Matt Serra's camp. He's like, that doesn't matter to me anything. But I know he does care about the betting odds because I know he has reference in the past on prior seasons where someone who's a big underdog comes and gets a big win, they usually get a contract.
Yeah.
So he definitely, I know that's
Joe Pyfer was an underdog lead into that fight.
For sure. Yeah. It was like a pick 'em. It closed out.
And he probably if it's a big favorite and he just decisions his way to a victory, he's probably like, wait a second. Like, why do I want to sign
that's
you?
what he was saying about I don't care what you did in the last 5 years. I care about what you did tonight.
That's kind of what I think happened with Bazooka. Like, I think if Bazooka comes in over minus 200 favorite.
Yeah.
And actually in the first fight as well, the guy, Alessandro Costa, he was, I think, got up to almost minus 300. I think just a little under like 275. Wins like a close split decision. Yeah. So obviously you get a fight like that. Even though there were some exciting moments in that fight, there was points where he was down, losing the second round, then gets a big knockdown.
Yeah.
So there was some exciting moments in these fights, but overall, underwhelming-ish besides the last fight, you could say for sure.
I would love to see the footage of the room where they have all the winners sit in the director's chairs and wait, what's Dana going to say? Who's he going to sign? I would love to see that just when he made the speech of y'all sucked except Joe Pyfer.
Yeah, they usually show them. They didn't. This time.
They did.
Yeah, they only did it the very
They showed him for a second in the beginning
because Dana came out so quickly. I think they would have shown him more.
I think Dana came out like he was cutting like a WWF promo. He was like, "Listen here, Mean Gene,"
and it was in the old school WWE,
the background setup,
Southern or Mid-South Wrestling, whatever
Yes.
set up, where it was just the
Like
interviewer,
an interviewer and Dana.
and then a logo in the back.
Yeah.
And he was just like yelling at the interviewer.
The
and
way he
everyone was like,
stormed off afterwards, it's like, all right, he's headed to the ring to kick somebody's ass now. And did you see in the post-fight presser, someone brought up the promoter that like stopped the fight and disqualified both people? Dana loved it. He was like, "That's fucking awesome."
He's
He's
like,
like,
maybe-
"It's
I may use
unprofessional,
that next
but it's
Tuesday."
awesome."
He literally said, I think his direct quote was like extremely unprofessional, but fucking awesome.
Yeah. He's like, he said, "There's some days where I want to throw a chair into the octagon." He said he just goes back into his room and watches from there.
And also, go ahead, guy.
What actually to add on to the Russian story? So the promoter, so it was a Grand Prix event, right? So like lightweight 8-man tournament. So he disqualified both of them. So the other guy got an easy win into the semifinals. Or into the finals once he won the first round. And then he didn't pay either of them on top of it.
That's crazy.
the pay,
not
no
even
pay, is
show,
crazy.
not even made weight. Still didn't get any money.
Nobody's ever been so offended by a boring MMA fight than that guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes boring fights happen, dude.
The Russian MMA scene is it's truly
crazy.
next level.
Yeah.
It's like just
It's a different
you never
world.
know
It's the
what's gonna
Wild
happen.
West.
It's the Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I saw like a Russian YouTube video recently where it's like 5'4", 130-pound grappler against 250-pound 6'4" street fighter. Who wins?
And the commission's sitting right there. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Yep,
yeah.
we-
No,
we
this
approve."
is great. Yeah. And then like the 125-pound guys trying to get him down, and I mean the grappler ended up winning. Like, he was like a jiu-jitsu artist,
yeah.
but it was like on pavement, and there was like bale, like hay surrounding it.
Yeah.
That was the octagon. Like, they don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. And they've probably been training since they were like 4 years old too. They started
yeah,
so
yeah,
young
yeah.
there.
And this was just like a Tuesday afternoon. Like, we were like, yeah, I'll get there after work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some headlines we could discuss. I brought up the fact that they said Chandler and Poirier may fight. They were going back and forth. I brought that up to Dana, and he said he's interested in making that fight.
It makes so much sense. I mean, they're the two guys. Obviously, they've had this little beef. They've honestly kind of had this underlying beef from the very beginning, where Chandler
Yeah.
brought up that he was kind of offended, but also said he understood that when he first came in the UFC, like his initial first fight, that Poirier basically said, "No chance, I'm not fighting some guy who's never fought in the UFC when I'm a top like 3-4 guy," which I understood. Then now Chandler, after the big knockout win with Ferguson, kind of switched up and was like, "Oh, like I don't think Poirier does it for me."
Yep.
And since like he's like not doesn't have the name, not like exciting enough kind of thing. So
And
which
then
I
they
just
got into it at the UFC.
yeah, and then they got
seemed
into a little
Poirier
like
maybe
a
started
yelling
that.
match. Yeah, I don't know. It was
Based on how Chandler was talking about it, Chandler was like, "Oh, that's not the way to get a fight with me." Like the way he approached me like that, which made it sound like Poirier like went up to him and kind of, but that doesn't seem like Poirier to me.
that's kind of how I was thinking too. But I think Chandler might even made the comment like maybe Poirier had a few drinks or something. Like he was trying to go that route on him a little bit. Which I don't know if
was
that's
that
true or
like
not, but
was that like maybe he had a few drinks because it's like a rumor within the fighter community that he drinks too much, or was it like he actually drank?
I think it was.
It
More,
was
I think
it.
it was him.
Yeah.
To me, it came off like him shit talking.
Because you know how you could be like if you wanted to insult somebody, you'd be like,
"Oh,
maybe
oh,
he had a
he's
few
drunk.
drinks.
Can't hold this
Yeah,
alcohol. Yeah. I remember my first beer, all that whole thing.
So I mean, who knows? But I mean, I think that's definitely a fan favorite fight. I think that fight makes so much sense to be on the
fight
main
could
card.
be
of
a
the,
main event. Like
That-
if you really
for
want it
sure.
to be,
Definitely.
like it could be a pay-per-view main event. If you're making
Yeah, I
Hamza
mean,
and Nada,
I think the only reason I'll say I don't think it will be is because
I don't think it will be.
just because they're doing I don't think they would do two of them that close
Yeah.
together.
Agreed.
I think it makes perfect sense to be like a co-main event or like a third fight on like a crazy stack
Yeah.
MSG card. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That'd
I
be
don't
an
know.
awesome fight.
I can't see them going 5 rounds, but I would also like that to be a 5-round fight.
Yes.
Like sometimes we're making these non-title fights 5 rounds just because they're great. That's one where it deserves it.
So with that fight, with Poirier, how I saw this comment from King Jappy Joe. Poirier is fake as fuck. He's 100%. Seems like he would do that. What is Poirier's like approval rating among MMA fans right now?
I think it's very high.
Me too.
I would think relatively. I would think it's high.
I know
mean,
Colby fans hate him, but Colby fans
Like
are like
80%.
yeah, I think it would probably be around there.
that's kind of what the number in my head. Yeah, like
Connor
75,
fans,
yeah.
probably some Connor fans, but even like some Connor fans like me, like I don't have anything against.
But he
Poirier.
always even like there's this weird like underlying thing where like someone like him bringing up in the comments. Like I feel like there is this kind of underlying thing that Poirier is like not a good guy.
That he's
I
fake.
know.
But I feel like he's overall perceived as this
Connor
like
tried
very
to push
yeah.
that
as
too.
this like very good guy.
Yeah,
The charity and like even he has been like very humble in defeat as well. And he hasn't been someone that's talked shit pre-fights unless he's been provoked, like Connor, for example, in the third fight.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like overall,
he's got his hot sauce. He was on Hot
Exactly,
Ones. People
yeah,
like him as a
he's-
media personality.
he's with the same girl for a long time, like kind of a lot of family man.
Went through juvie, came out of that.
And then even when he lost to Oliveira, he was like so brutally honest about how much it stunk.
Well,
Mhm.
even when he lost to Khabib, and the kid was like, "Where does it hurt?" and he was like, "Here," like
He
pointing.
was
to his
almost like
heart.
crying, baby.
Yeah.
The Khabib
was,
one, he was
like,
even worse. But
getting to the top and not getting there, and he almost had that moment of like, man, I may never be back here.
Yeah.
And I think he was like, and like, I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I can like as a human, you can relate to like things you thought you had, and then it falls apart, and it's like that's something that I can support. But then it's like, then Colby attacks Dustin a lot, and then says like, what's he call him, Dustin Poirier or something. But then he also, I don't know what the speculation behind his charity is. People always bring it up as like being
Well,
fake or
McGregor
something.
brought up like he didn't put the funds in the right spot or something like that.
Okay,
It's like-
I remember that because Dustin
it
was
might
like,
be
"You haven't
McGregor's
paid
fault.
yet?"
Yeah,
oh well, I think he got pissed that he basically said McGregor never sent the money.
yeah. And
And
then
McGregor was like, "Yo, I'm
it's
not
not
just,
going
like,
to the right spot."
Blindly
Like,
sending you $100,000 or whatever it was.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Like
McGregor-
I need to see where the money's
Which
going,
is-
what the deal is,
which is
fair for sure. I don't know. I mean, I like Poirier. Well, also, going off kind of what you said, where after the Oliveira fight, where he kind of was like, I don't know if I'll be here. He had kind of said after that, like he made especially after the third McGregor fight, he made a fuck ton of money.
Yeah,
Like I think he legitimately made like 8 figures type money.
yeah,
Like,
that makes
huge,
sense.
like huge life changing money. So
you think he made 10 million?
I went.
that's what they were talking about. I think there was a big clause I know he had in the second one
I think
that if he won, the third one was like massive.
10 million
It was one that third fight was like the
from the UFC?
I wouldn't be shocked.
that third fight.
I'd be shocked.
That third fight, he got pay-per-view points. That was
Yeah.
the second biggest pay-per-view I think of all time. in
Yeah,
UFC.
no, I think
Damn,
Poirier
It did one
McGregor
point, it did one,
3.
he got points. He got a massive base, like 7-figure
Yeah.
base, and it did 1.6. I think believe 1.6 million buys.
wow.
And then he probably got another like 100 to 250 based off of like media show and like whatnot.
I think he could make at least close to 10 million.
holy fuck.
That's and I know he made a good check for the second one as well, but I know there was big stipulations from that if he beat him in the second one and did the third one, it was
good
huge,
for
huge,
Poirier
huge
if
money.
that's the case.
I mean,
I'm sure he
that's the kind of
crazy
money where
regardless.
that's the kind of money where you take that instead of fighting for the belt.
oh yeah.
Like that, and I think that's like it needed to be that
Absolutely.
kind of money
Yeah.
to turn down the belt.
He made the right call for
But
him,
going
his
all-
family, his future. Yeah.
But after that, I think he's made so much money now. That's why he kind of said he was down to go up to 170. That
Yeah.
he only wants fun fights. Like he wanted like a Nate Diaz fight, which
Mm.
makes sense. Would be like a pay-per-view headliner kind of thing.
Yep.
Obviously, he didn't get that fight, but a Chandler fight kind of checks both boxes where it's like a super fun fan fight, but also the winner that I think is right back next in line for the title
100%.
because they're both exciting fighters. So they're both guys that you beat down. And obviously the fight with both their fights with Oliveira were like great, exciting fights.
They really were.
So they're easily sellable for like they're both fights that Chandler and Poirier at early were winning.
Yeah.
So I think easily sellable for a rematch if Oliveira is still holding the belt at that time.
Man, I
Can you
bet the
imagine Makhachev wins and
I know.
Poirier has to face Khabib,
Oh.
Oliveira, Makhachev as his 3 title
I
challenge?
want Charles to win so
Like,
bad.
holy
I think
shit.
the UFC probably. I don't know how big of a market Islam brings in, but I would assume UFC. Just you talking right there, you were just saying about like Oliveira bringing it back with Poirier. It would be so easy to sell.
Yeah.
Any Islam Makhachev fight would just like for us.
Probably does bring a big market from
that's the
Russia,
thing.
though.
So it may be like the
It's a big
Russian,
international one.
Yeah.
the Russian,
Dhabi.
and then also Middle Eastern,
Yep.
obviously, and then like Habib will. He's just
gotta
a
have
massive.
Hezbollah like
Yeah.
keep coming through and
also,
getting in his corner.
So that would be an interesting like economical breakdown if anyone like if like oh this is how much that's also like the economics of college sports. It's like who makes the most? How do they make their money? I don't know. Maybe that market that it brings in overweighs how exciting Oliveira fights are for championship fights, even if he ends up winning.
I also think it would make a difference in America too, the way if he beats Oliveira in the way he would beat him.
Yeah.
Like if he just runs through him, I think that makes him even less sellable.
Yeah.
Like if they go toe to toe, it's a war. Say Oliveira cracks him, hurts him at some point. I think it makes a fight with guys who like hit hard, like Chandler.
He wanted to be like
more
a Yuri versus
even though I
Glover.
think that obviously Oliveira will fare much better in the grappling department than those two would against Islam. But if Oliveira is able to hurt him, maybe even get him dangerous close to a sub at some point, you know what I mean? Something like that. I think showing is because we never saw that with Khabib ever.
Yeah.
So with Islam, if you see like the chinks in the armor on like a big public setting like that, public like big stage, I think fights with him make it more sellable than how Khabib was, where he just was running through everybody.
Yeah.
Not even getting hurt.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, after you would look at his face afterwards, and it didn't even look like he had a scratch on him. It was crazy.
Literally ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Was Khabib ever hurt?
People say Michael
Like-
Johnson, but like I
Yeah.
think that
Not
was
even-
overstated
like-
by the commentators.
Then Michael Johnson after that fight came up to him and was like, there's a great clip. He's like, brother, you're like the strongest human being I've ever seen.
That's actually too. If you, I think I might have mentioned this before. Bobby Green went on Rogan, and he said fighting Islam, it was like he's never felt anything like
The
that.
strength
He
is
said
like,
he was he said just the strength, like how he ended it just in that weird, like he just was like stomach like laid out flat. He was like, I just had nothing. He was so strong. He was like, I couldn't do anything.
there's something about, I don't know what it is. It's like it's like a form of farm boy strength kind of, but it's like they don't look that intimidating.
Yeah.
And then every guy who fought Khabib was like, he felt like he was like 205, 250 in there with how strong he was. And especially when he was on your
Cormier
back.
said it about wrestling him. He's like,
I was gonna say,
could
have you
wrestle
seen
him,
clips
and,
of him like fucking out with like Rockhold and like Cormier?
But
he's like giving them comp. He's giving up 50 pounds.
yeah,
dude,
And he's like, they're in like a war, like on the ground.
and
Right
Islam, and it's maybe Islam could
absolutely
be Jordan
nuts.
Burroughs in a wrestling. No, I'm just
Chris
kidding.
Barnett versus Francis Ngannou. Book it. I mean,
Barnett did just get booked for a fight.
bro, you trying to
Against
kill Chris
who?
Barnett?
Who was it? Oh my god, I know.
It was on 277 here. Hold on, or not 277.
Oh, it's like Barnett's fighting this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Collier, that's who it is.
Oh.
Jake
It's a good fight.
I don't hate that
September
fight.
10th.
It's kind of a
Yeah,
meme
it's
fight. It's a
funny.
meme
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone will probably get finished in like a really awkward, like just like lazy ground and pound.
Yeah. It's
the
like
other,
this is
the other,
all
the
they
other
have
guy's just
left.
like done.
Should we talk UFC 277, or were there more headlines we could bring up? What happened this week?
I'm trying to think. A lot of the headlines were just like, I mean, Juliana and Amanda are going back and forth,
Heating
which
up
is
a little
good.
bit.
I'll be honest. Before we get into 277, I'm getting a lot. Like I'm very excited for this. This UFC 277 main event. I think more excited than
I
a
think
lot
the
of
main
people.
event I'm very excited for. The co-main event as well, because the first fight between Moreno
Yeah, it
and
was
Tyler
awesome
France
fight.
was incredible. But the rest of the card, I'm not like, I don't want to shit on it, but it's not like the greatest card I've ever seen.
If we had like another title fight on top of this card would be very, very, very good.
I
It's just missing that next tier fight.
But I will
There's
say
good names. Oh, and I should point out, I should own up to my flub during the Dana White interview where I said Paulo Costa is fighting this weekend. What I had was I kind of had my screen set up like this, where I made the Dana White window small. Then I have my notes on one side and I have the card on the other. And when I pull the card up, it's the Google card. And it still lists Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold canceled. But I had a window over Luke Rockhold. So as I'm looking down and I'm like just reading, like I'm not even thinking, I'm just like, oh, we got a bunch of names on this card. Derrick Lewis, like Alex Perez, whatever, Anthony Smith. I saw Paulo Costa and I swear something in my brain was like,
wait, what?
That's not right.
Yeah.
But I was just like, Paulo Costa too. Yeah, unbelievable. What a great card. I was like, I must be wrong about that. Incorrect. And Paulo Costa tweeted about it. He had a funny tweet about
I
it.
saw that, yeah.
Where he was like, they don't even tell me I'm fighting anymore. It was funny. It was funny. But I did get a few comments about that. Like, what happened? Why did you say Paulo Costa? It was the Google sheet but I didn't see the Luke Rockhold canceled. So it didn't
I almost want
register.
like Paulo Costa to have his own podcast. Like,
I feel like it would take some
Patty and
mystique
Paulo.
away.
He tweets better than he talks, though.
I know.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Because when he
Do
talks,
you think someone else is running his Twitter?
yes.
I don't
It's
know.
so funny, dude.
I kind of don't. I kind of think he is.
I think someone else
I want to
is
like
running it.
believe in Santa Claus.
Okay, all right. You know what? You know what?
I'm like, you know what? I think
I'm in. I'm back in. Yeah.
So let's talk about this card. We've got early prelims starting at 6 p.m. The first one, Orion Kosaki. Is that how you say that? Kosi versus Mike.
That's Blood Diamond.
It's Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond. Yes. Okay.
I'm big on.
Ossie's making his debut, I believe.
Yeah, he is. I'm big on him.
Or maybe he's had.
No,
I don't think he's had many.
Lost,
Is he?
He lost to Phil
Only
Rowe.
Blood Diamond's
That's
second
right,
fight,
that's
right?
That's
In
right.
the UFC.
Blood Diamond's second fight in the
And
UFC.
he fought
Lost to
Wells.
Jeremiah
Yeah,
Wells.
Wells. He got grappling. Just
I think that's
totally
going to happen
overwhelmed.
again. And I'm big on Orion. I already bet him. I bet him earlier in the week, and I already have
Lines moved up.
Lines moved. I got him at minus 155. Now he's at like minus 200. I like him a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing 175. But yeah, it's definitely
Minus
up a lot.
175. Yeah. So.
I like Kosi as well for sure.
Blood Diamond, I think, just like
He's a good kickboxer. He just has nothing on the
would
ground.
Blood Diamond. This is the question you have to ask yourself. Would Blood Diamond be in the UFC if he didn't know Israel Adesanya?
No,
Probably not.
he's
He's got
3-1.
a great nickname.
He's a
too, though.
great-
Blood
he's-
Diamond is a sick nickname.
And he's from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out Za.
Shout out Za, of course. I wonder if Za's like, does he know that?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
that.
I remember we were talking the last fight. We were tweeting. We were like texting each other during it. He
Yeah, I
like,
was
"Oh,
texting him
man."
too. I was like, dude, you got to turn on UFC. He's like, I'm already watching. He's
All
like, a lot of people at home are talking about it.
Oh, okay. So I'll root for him on Za's behalf, but his first performance.
He seems like a good guy. That clip of Izzy reacting to Blood Diamond like getting introduced to UFC or whatever
Yeah.
is like, I guess they just have a really great relationship, which is like really cool. And it's good to see like sometimes we
Is Blood Diamond Izzy's Artem Lobov?
that's the greatest pro comp I've ever heard.
Yeah, basically, pretty much, yes.
You think though that Kosi can get the takedowns like Wells was able to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he's as good a grappler as Wells.
That's
but
what I'm saying. I that's a pass. It's a pass for me because of that.
But
Because
Jeremiah, well, like
Wells is that strong, and that's why he got him down. He got him off like more brute strength than really anything else. I don't know if Kosi really has like he's gonna have to do more like chain takedowns than just like one big takedown. You know what I mean? And I think Wells is a much better grappler than Kosi.
yeah, I mean, I'm not
He's
betting
definitely
round
better
one
athlete, I
submission that
imagine.
Jeremiah Wells did
Yeah,
to
that's
Kosi. Like I say, that's a fair concern.
It's a pass though.
I just really
don't-
think we're gonna look back on Blood Diamond and just be like, man, he should have been like lined as a really one of the worst fighters in UFC history.
that's fair.
By the way, I looked at CM Punk's lines, dude. Him against who's his last
Mike
fight?
Jackson.
Mike Jackson.
Mike
Mike
Jackson.
Jackson.
You know, Mike Jackson closed minus 190 against CM Punk. That
Listen, we're not going to CM Punk slam.
no, he's a great wrestler.
Ricochet
and
shot at
shout
CM Punk. Yeah. That's dumb.
him against Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall was minus 400 against him. I would have. I'm
If they
not
fought 100 times,
responsibly.
I think he wins
He
in the first
wins
round.
101.
In the first round every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would do it responsibly, but I think I'm emptying like all of my like
I think
any
I'm taking
account
out
I have. I don't
loans.
care about tax.
Responsibly taking. We had someone that picks up today. He's like, he was responsibly taking out 2 mortgages on my home.
Yeah. Responsibly 2 mortgages, my entire 401k. Shout out CM Punk though.
Light heavyweight Nikolai Nagabarano versus Igor. It's Ihor.
I believe the horror.
This guy's a
Pacharia.
regional legend, but he fights some guys that are. You want to talk about bums?
Yeah.
Dude, he fights some guys that are
Tommy
like
Fury opponents.
This is screaming the Alonzo Menafield opponent. This is Askar Mazarov part 2.
Yeah.
This is
His
like
record's
fake
fake.
same country, both Ukrainians. Like this is
Dude, if you were to pull up his
I am right now.
like his tap, like it's insane. He fights guys that were like it's like they
And even like
booked us to
later in his
fight.
career too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's like 12 and 0, like 12 and or whatever.
And
like,
Nikolai
fighting
isn't
dudes who are like 3 and like whatever.
Nikolai isn't great. No, and he won against Kennedy and Chekwu, but it was kind of
But it was
Yeah.
questionable.
questionable. But I don't know. I think he's better
This line also has moved a ton.
a ton.
Like Nikolai was plus like 135. He's a favorite now.
Yeah.
Nikolai's given up 2 inches and has a 3-inch reach advantage.
He's a
always
good
interesting when
his
that
path to
happens.
victory is grappling.
By the way, JS in the chat. No, Patty Pimblett versus Bobby Green would not be cool.
You don't like that? Not into that?
No, I don't want. No,
Not
let's
yet,
give Patty
not
some
yet.
time.
Not yet.
Give him some time, but that would be a good build.
I like at
Bobby
some
Green would know how to talk
point I
back.
don't hate that fight.
Yeah.
Like this guy Pateria's like last 10 fights or something is like 0-0, 5-6, 0-0, 1-9, 17-18, 0-0, 0-3, 0-4, 0-2, 11-5, 5-2, 8-0.
Where'd the 11-5 guy come
so
from?
basically, his last 3 opponents are the only ones that even were like with respectable records. We
Yeah,
don't
and
even we don't even know what those records
go to
are.
the guy he fought his last
strength
fight
of
and see
schedule. We
who
don't even
he
know how-
see the guys the 8-0 guy fought.
The 8-0 guy. So before that loss, he fought 3-3-1, 4-1, 9-10, 8-8-1, 3-1-1, 0-0, 1-0, 2-3.
All right. This is what fight?
He's 19-2. Materia.
What fight division is or
It's light heavyweight.
No, sorry. What? Where was he fighting?
Oh, the region.
Oh, you want the regional name?
yeah.
I mean,
WWFC and Assad FC, GCFC, RFP,
haven't heard of any of these
WWFC,
places.
Maximus Fighting Championship.
Yeah, that's something that like we made up.
Oh, Robbie, how does it feel being on the Countdown Show? We were all on the Countdown Show this week. We talked about it on Tuesday a little bit. Go to like 16 minutes in, I think it was, and we're all there
sick.
with Juliana.
It was on
Pena.
ESPN
It was awesome.
a couple times. No big deal.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, Rogan. Good Morning America.
Barstool.
Spinning
Barstool.
Backfist.
But yeah,
So-
this should be. I mean, maybe he comes out here and just wails on him. But
There's a lot of fucking fights on this card. too,
why
as I'm
did
looking at
they?
it.
Why did they sign this guy though? I don't get it. Like,
He-
what's the point? Ukraine? Is it?
He beat eight. Well, here. Let's go to the odds for that Contender Series fight.
Oh, he was in the content. Yeah,
So he was a plus 165 dog against the 8-0 Contender Series guy.
yeah.
And beat him in the first round.
All right,
Which
so
is-
there's
which
a-
is-
yeah, he gets signed.
He's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
All right.
Negromanayanu has a chin though. That's
Yeah,
like
he does.
the UFC. He's
Kennedy landed some big. Kennedy's a big, strong guy. Big light heavyweight too.
Yeah, and he showed him. I think the line move is correct for this fight, but this is a pass.
I like Nigaranaray, who's on my card. I
Yeah,
don't know
I'll
the
be
last
on him
name
for sure.
but Nikolai's on my card.
Jocelyn Edwards takes on Ji-Yeon Kim in the women's bantamweight division. And the next one, Edwards, the younger fighter by 6 years.
She's long, man.
Yeah, she is.
She is long, but she's given up 2 inches to Kim.
Oh,
I like the way
reach-wise.
I love the way in the last fight she used those like straight like T kicks.
she did
Yeah.
that.
Like
all
just
fight.
straight, like just like kept her off, like, and they were doing good work too. Like she was body.
Did Edwards used to fight at 145? That's what they have her listed as
She
here.
did last fight against
Mhm.
in Singapore.
Yeah.
She fought
And G
Ramona
used to fight at
Pasquale.
125.
Yeah, she's coming up. This is our first fight at 35, I believe.
So, I
And
mean,
she just beat
we might
Vanessa
see a
Demopoulos.
big
Ji-Young Kim.
strength
Yeah.
advantage.
No,
possibly.
she-
Oh, Jin Frey beat
Correct.
Vanessa Demopoulos.
Ji-Young Kim lost to Priscilla Cachoeira last fight.
Priscilla catch a beating.
Yeah, catch a beating. But
Yeah.
that I don't think that was a controversial decision, I think.
I like Edwards here.
I like Edwards.
I don't know if I
She'll-
want to
Younger
juice
fighter.
right now.
She's bigger.
She's
She's
minus
be
125,
stronger.
130 range.
Yeah, I don't hate it either.
She'll be Edwards is on my card. I like her.
She's
I think she'll be
from-
better
just-
in the
just-
grappling
just a
exchanges.
straight
Is
play.
she what country is she from? Is she from?
Panama.
Dominican?
Panama.
Panama. Cool.
Not a ton of fighters
Probably
from there.
not a ton of Central American fighters. I don't
No.
think we have.
I like Edwards by decision is plus 135.
Yeah, I like that
think
too.
I think that's
I like that a
a
lot.
good spot.
In the welterweight division, the final fight of the early prelims, Michael Morales takes on Adam Fugit. Fugit.
Fuck it.
You like Michael Morales based on?
I do, but not to play. I love him because I watched him in the Contender Series last year, and I think he's a monster and has like
He's a
massive.
monster.
I think he has
man.
huge potential, but he's such a big favorite.
He's so minus
He's
800.
he's minus like 125 by knockout. I think he's gonna
Oh my
finish him.
god!
I think he's gonna win for sure. I think
I
he's
didn't
gonna
realize
dominate,
that.
but he's too big of. He's just too big
He's,
of too big a favorite to actually play it. I'd put him in the parlay.
he's a big
I'm a big fan of it. He's very young as well. He's only like 22 or 23.
big prospect.
But I'm a big fan of his long term.
I don't
But,
think I saw his fight on Contender
He's
Series,
minus.
to
He
be
just
honest.
mashed the guy, but he's minus like 600 here.
He beat a kickboxer from Kazakhstan that trains at King's MMA in his
Oh, okay.
Contender Series fight.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Not a bad
He
win at
smoked
all.
him too. He dominated.
Yeah, he looked real good.
If I remember, the guy he fought was like pretty. I didn't kind of versus credentials. I remember him like he looked pretty good as well.
The guy that he fought was like 1-3 in his first 4 fights, then moved to Kings and like ran off like an 8 unbeaten streak.
Because I remember Morales, it was like clear. I think it was a decision. It was like clear he won, but the guy he fought was definitely, you could tell he wasn't bad.
I don't think Morales is as good though as you guys are saying as a. Well,
he is only like 22.
He has the potential.
He's a baby.
Don't get me wrong. He has the potential, but I don't see a specific area where I could be like, wow, that kid is as good as like UFC fighters right now, except in the power. I think his like just natural power in his hands.
That's all you need, I guess.
Yeah, that's good, but some of like the combinations and the wrestling isn't that good. Like he was getting like reversed in the Contender Series fight. Like he is training wrestling. He's trained at Entrum Gym, which was Brandon Moreno's former gym. They have a bunch of UFC fighters, but that's where he is now. I do think he's a parlay piece for this fight, but I will be. I think a lot of people like him a lot, and I'm more hesitant on him.
Is I'm saying let my guy get to like 27.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I just think a kid like that looked that good at 22. I just think like big, just sky's the limit.
Giles was looking. He dropped. Giles dropped Morales in the first round in the last fight. It's so. Yeah, I don't know. He is good. He is good.
Young.
He is good. He is young, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm that high on him.
In the lightweight division, we've got Dracar close taking on Rafa Garcia. I like watching Dracar close fight.
Fun fighter.
Yeah.
I like. I mean, you're only going to get like a +110, +115, but I do like close by decision here. I think this would be one more. Both these guys don't have like the biggest finishing upside, and
close his last fight.
And I could see
he knocked out a
Brandon
bum,
Jenkins.
He smoked him
in the second round.
He was a PFL guy.
So yeah, I mean,
and he just had
I think
fights
I'll
get
probably
canceled and canceled.
Who was he supposed to fight on this card? It was somebody much better.
Close.
Yes, he was a dog. I think even
Close his last two fights before his last one.
That's who he was supposed to fight. Diego Ferreira.
He was supposed to fight Jeremy Stevens. He was supposed to fight Luis Pena. Like he had a ton of fights booked.
The Diego Ferreira was he was supposed to fight him on this card. That was a
Bob Ross clip.
Big fight for him.
Was the Jeremy Stevens one that
weird?
Was the Jeremy Stevens?
That was the shove.
The shove.
Yes.
Got fucked up by the shove.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you guys see the violent Bob Ross clip from recently?
No, what was it?
So
it was weird.
So he was on another promotion.
He headlined XMMA.
Yeah. Against the
it was like I think it was
UFC
last
guy
week.
Will Brooks.
Yes.
And they put
Big
out
Bellator guy too.
Bellator, yeah.
They put out like a promo of it, and it was like he said, "I didn't do it, but they're gonna make me look like the villain."
He has domestic violence allegations.
Yeah.
It was big
and
time.
he's like the allegations are false, but I sat here and thought about him for a while, and I thought, why not just play into him and be the bad guy? And it was like everyone on Twitter was like, what? Maybe not.
I remember him being on that. He was on the Ultimate Fighter this season with Stipe and Cormier, and he was kind of strange there too, a little bit.
He was a strange guy, and I haven't had like experiences with him, but he fought on the Norfolk, Virginia card that Joe Benavidez fought Davidson Figueiredo for on the first time. And he trained like in the room next to Joe, and we were just hanging out. Joe was training, and he was listening to the Luis Pena through the walls, was listening to the most violent music I've ever heard in my entire life. Like the most violent gangster rap I've like, to the point where I was taken aback, and I was like, whoa, I can't believe like people are listening to this out loud. It was crazy. It was certainly crazy.
So yeah, stay away from violent Bob Ross.
Yeah.
For this fight,
violent guy.
This fight, Closa versus Garcia. I think this is dog or pass here. Somewhat. Garcia has surprised me in the last two fights. He did well against Natan Levy, which was 2 fights ago, and then he beat Jesse Bronson. Both of those guys are much worse than Dracar Close. I like completely understand that point. It's just I think this is like line correctly, and his like he had very good combos. Got like 7 takedowns against Levy. Like he can work both ways. He can push a pace. He's trains with Gaethje. He was Gaethje's main training partner for Oliveira. And yeah, I think he's finally starting to like put it together almost. I'm not going to bet this fight, but I do think it's dog or pass.
The next fight, Dontel Mays versus Hamdi Abdel Wahab.
Another guy that's just like
late replacement.
Yeah.
The guy who's
5-0,
who Hamdi
Not
was
even.
fighting.
the Hammer. That's what they call him.
He's like 3-0 with like 2 MMA bare knuckle ones with Masvidal's promotion, that he like beat. He beat in 15 seconds and 33 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
And I watched because they were both so short. I just went and I found them. The guys he was fighting, it was just like they. It felt
Found
like
them at Home Depot.
It felt like they found them at Home Depot. It's just like what Hamdi, I think, is a fake knockouts. Yeah, I'm with Jonathan Jones. Hamdi is a fraud. I'm with you. He is the hammer.
When I
though,
see a 5-0 like debuting, I'm like, yeah,
something
no,
about
it's not gonna work.
something about Hamdi, the name, and then his nickname, the Hammer.
Hamdi the Hammer.
And then he comes through and just like
How many
ruins-
hammers have there been? Mark Coleman.
Hamdi opponents 0-2, 3-3,
OG.
6-4, 0-1, 0-2.
I think Mace.
Thank you, Logan DeWolf.
Yeah, this might be a first round knockout.
Also, this lines went up.
Dontel
I'm
made
actually-
huge.
I'm surprised it's not even bigger. It opened minus like 130, it's minus 180 now. I don't know why this isn't minus like 300.
I got Mays minus 140. I'm very
Like
proud
I think
of
he's
myself.
gonna bury him.
Yeah.
Absolutely bury him.
It'll depend if Hamdi can get the takedown or not. Like that's really what it is. He's gonna get backed up by Mays. Mays has the reach advantage.
Big 8 inches, huge
yeah.
reach advantage.
Yeah.
Obviously fought much better competition. Not even close. I think he could
Gonna be bigger in the cage.
I feel like this fight could close and he could look minus like 700.
Yeah. Mays looked so much better in his last fight versus 2 fights ago. He took like a year off and then came out and did like a wrestle fest against Josh Parisian and then got him in the what do you call it? You got him into the position where you like put your knee over the arm and then start raining elbows. And
Yeah,
they can't.
yeah.
It was a
Almost
very,
like a half like crucifix a little bit. Like a
it was a very, very good fight by him. I feel very good about it, and I'm glad I got him early.
The final fight of the prelims, Alex Moreno versus Matthew Semmelsberger, Semi the Jedi, coming off a big win in his last fight. We tried to get him on the show, and he was just a little late to respond, but he eventually saw the message, followed me, and he comments on my Star Wars videos now. So, of course, I have to ride for Semi the Jedi. Just if you comment on my Star Wars Instagram videos, I'll root for you. I don't care if you're plus
that's fair.
10,000.
I like Semi the Jedi. This is probably a stay away from me, even though I think he should win. Moreno's like, I don't know.
Don't be fooled by the Egyptian Olympic wrestling for Hamdi. That means literally nothing.
That's brutal for Jonathan Jones.
That's unreal.
Just flaming Hamdi.
Jonathan Jones hates Hamdi.
Flaming Egyptian wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, Jonathan Jones is just like he hates Egyptian wrestling. All right.
Dog
Yeah,
pass.
Semmelsberger. I'm very like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a fight that I'm gonna say. You know,
This is
straight
honestly,
money on.
what's wrong with Egyptian Olympic wrestling?
As Real Smith, I can't wait for that documentary to come out. By the way,
Shout out the chat.
About the girlfriend. They're making a documentary.
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's coming out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
2
on
weeks.
August
Wow.
14th or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's like a
it's a part of a
they're
Netflix
interviewing
series.
him. They're interviewing him.
Like
They're
Untold, one of those.
Yes, Untold. Yes,
they're
yes.
interviewing the catfisher.
And the catfisher was a family friend who
Yeah.
what it looked like from the trailer has now transitioned to a woman.
Yes.
Oh my lord!
So
my
does
my
look like a
girlfriend
woman.
watches the
Yeah.
show
I'm
Catfish
pretty-
often, and that
Maybe
happens.
I don't know what it is, but I bet they get into it in the.
That has happened on the MTV show Catfish. I've seen that. That's a big. My girlfriend watches it, and I always like.
I like.
I'm
Catfish.
like
not
half
I'm not
paying
ashamed to
attention in
say
the
that.
background, and then I'll
Oh,
find
okay.
myself like hooked by the end of the episode. I'm like, all right, I got to find out what happens.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I'm a big fan of Catfish.
I saw Neve was in the office not too long
He was,
ago. I
yeah.
walked past and was like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
Neve.
yeah, yeah.
He's
him
doing
and
out and
Joey
about.
and Joey and Pat like hang out sometimes.
Crazy,
Oh, that's cool.
crazy.
But anyways, yeah, Semmelsberger.
yeah. That
Hopefully
was
he gets a
that was little
haircut.
tangent.
You remember
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
last
His hair
fight?
was getting in his way.
His hair was getting in his way. I was
Yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree kind of with Ryan Grant saying a little bit. I think Moreno, if he uses wrestling, like he could, I don't know about 250, he could win, I think. I mean, like, I think the line's fair. Like, it's relatively close. Semmelsberger, I've seen here minus like 150s range.
Oh, he is the favorite in this.
Yeah, he is the favorite.
I thought he was the underdog.
Because I honestly thought he should. So in his Semmelsberger's last fight, he fought AJ Fletcher, the guy who was off had a big knee knockout
decision win.
contender series. He clearly won the first round, was winning the second round, and then put himself in a bad position. Semmelsberger was able to kind of flip the position and was able to kind of take over the rest of the fight. I don't know. Fletcher, he was a guy he trains with Poirier, who I actually thought was a decent prospect.
I think he's pretty good.
I thought so too.
I think so too.
I think
Um,
it it was like a late notice. He was a late notice replacement at the end. He fought really well, and I think the next time we get
Fletcher, I think Fletcher, like in another day, he should have won. He made a big mistake in the second round that I think cost him the decision. But I like Semmelsberger, but this as a whole is a pass for me on the fight.
Fletcher
gambling
50,
wise.
Fletcher 50 IQ for that fight.
Yeah, he
It's-
should have won.
I had
won.
Semmelsberger in that fight. I felt like I was like one of the only guys that had Semmelsberger in that matchup. I think he's going to be faster than Moreno here.
Agreed.
Moreno has a really weird style. Really weird. Like he just doesn't throw everything smoothly. It just comes out really wonky sometimes, but he does everything and is a very smart fighter. And he knows exactly what he needs to do in a fight. Trains out of Fortis, I believe. I like Semmelsberger by decision here. I think it's like plus 200. I think this is going to be a very close fight, but I think Semmelsberger is probably straighter punches, so he's going to probably land more. I think that gets the job done, even though Moreno's a Texas guy. So,
if he wins, I'm gonna reach out for him and see if we can get him on the show. He seems like a funny personality. Remember after his last one, he posted the picture like in Vegas with like a Batman on the street and like
that was AJ Fletcher. Yeah.
What was it? Horny Batman from? I don't
think it was.
We got to run it. Horny Batman.
What a character he was through the Barstool office. And now we can move on to the main card.
Oh no, we got one more.
Do we?
You got Drew Dober and Rafael.
Did I skip? Oh, I skipped over that.
Which I think this could be fight of the night.
Yeah.
If someone is getting knocked out early.
Did Drew Dober just call out Patty too? I think he did.
Everybody
he did.
Terrence McKinney.
Chill out, Drew Dober. Worry about this fight. Come on, don't call out our.
I think
boy.
someone just at the press conference he just mentioned like I would like that'd be a cool fight someday. Like I don't think he went.
If it was
too,
respectful, then
he wasn't too like I want Patty the baddie kind of thing. He was kind of just like I'm
starting to get defensive. Like Patty's like my brother. When people call him like fucking back off.
Yeah, McKinney and I love Terrence McKinney.
I know.
He posted today like who would want to see this at MSG and I'm like,
chill out, dude.
Like
yeah,
maybe not. Right? Yeah,
I want to see Patty face Chris Moitino next.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. MSG, run it back. Yeah,
he's a nice guy. I'd like to see him get paid.
Wait, everybody! There's 109 people
concurrent
subscribe.
right now.
Subscribe.
Make sure you like the video. Thank you for tuning in. We
comment
appreciate
after.
This. We're about to get into the main card too.
The chat. We're reading the chat too. So if you're in here,
stay tuned.
We love the chat. Like,
put the chat. We'll put you up. Lee figured out how to put the comments up. I didn't even know that was an option. He started doing it this week. I feel like we broke through a new technology barrier.
Hey, we also haven't had like a big tech. Oh, I guess we did have the Schnell, but that was more on his end. The audio, but we've been our
pretty good on the
podcast has been pretty good tech wise.
I agree.
And thanks to everybody.
Shout out S Shine, legend.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Drew Dober.
Thank you, Shine.
Does everyone like Drew Dober in the fight?
No.
I've heard people don't like him, but
I like Dober.
So I want to talk to Lee about this because I think I
got Alves early. That's why.
But Drew Dober's only been knocked down once by McKinney, and that was McKinney's
early.
McKinney has so much power.
Alves is kind of
that's why he has such a chin. But I was talking with a guy on Twitter who, if you guys want to go follow, we shut out these gamblers all the time. But Prodigy MMA, he's actually a good guy. He's a good guy. I think he's from the area. He was saying he really thinks after you have a fight with a lot of damage, you may have pulled out the victory. The next fight, you're more susceptible. And he's funny enough. The example he used was Chris Matinho. There's levels to it. Chris Matinho is like barely a UFC fighter, but he was like, I was big on who did Matinho fight?
He fought
Guido.
Yeah.
And got knocked out in the first round.
Shout out Big Av's wedding. Do you see his?
Oh,
those were some great photos.
Yeah. They were good pictures. Shout out my best friend Frank got married. Shout out Frank and Autumn.
Wait, was that the wedding with the he accidentally took?
Yes, he was on Xanax. Yes.
Oh wow, the famous wedding.
He accidentally took Xanax.
Yeah. He thought it was Abdel.
Yes, he didn't think it was
classic.
Abdel.
That's a classic
Wild story.
mix-up.
Anyways, but Dober, I like. I think he's a guy. I mean, he has been finished before because he fought Islam Makhachev, but I don't know. I think I'm with the idea that's a dog or pass, but I think I could be sold on Dober. I could also be sold on the other side. So I'm going to give it to Lee now because I think he has a.
I think the play right now, because the lines went down considerably, I think the play right now would be under 2.5 minus 180. Like that's a pretty good parlay piece for me for guys that both
finish quick,
start
quick.
Yeah, exactly. That have a ton of power and both are susceptible to submissions and also get submissions. I got Alves really early at plus 205. That was one of the lines that I really looked forward to this week because Alves has a very good sneaky wrestling grappling game, and Dober gets caught in those positions sometimes where like he doesn't really know what to do. Alves is super strong. He showed that he can stay in fights against Ismagulov, like showed that he can go 3 rounds, wasn't bad cardio, nothing. I really think that Dober's going to get caught on the feet somewhere because Dober's going to throw more shots than Alves, but Alves I really think is going to land one eventually.
Okay.
And then jump on like guillotine, get the back, go for a rear nakeds. Like he's going to get a submission somewhere in there.
Oh, the chalk guy's back.
Yeah.
Chalk
guy.
That's the chalk parlay of the week, but they never hit. So they can't be, I mean, I guess they can be chalk on paper, but.
Anyways, Dober's chin, though, is someone said
Crimson Chin.
The Crimson Chin.
Chad Chin
Dober, yeah. Crazy chin.
I like Alves as well as a dog. I definitely liked him a lot more earlier in the weekend. The number's gone down quite a bit, but
yeah,
he's just an explosive guy.
He's so,
and even honestly, I think taking some shots at even like a him round 1 or like in the first, second round, I don't think it's crazy because I think a good chance if he does, he will do it. Like I love the under 2.5.
Yeah,
I think this is a fire fight. I think this one has a really, really good chance to be fight of the night.
Yeah,
I'll post the clip after, but there's the wrestling clip with Ismagulov of him just like spinning like a
he looked like a breakdancer.
Yeah.
It's super impressive. He's
crazy.
Alves is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah,
like one of the better athletes you'll see in the UFC.
If he can make weight
really well,
if he can make weight and look good on the scales, I really like.
So tomorrow morning, check out if he makes weight.
Yeah.
What's he down to now? Plus one?
He's plus 160 now.
All right.
I still think that's a decent price.
Now into the main card. We can get right into it. The first fight on the main card is Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith.
No.
Yes, Ev.
No.
Yes, Ev.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Magomed.
No.
I'm with Ev. I like Anthony Smith.
No.
We were talking about
Lion
it.
Hearts.
No, Magomed.
This price is too
the way
big.
he's been talking about it.
Ankalaev is not like I don't think he's minus like 600, 550 good.
Can we send you guys some Cage Titans fight night beers? Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, send us whatever.
Sure.
I just
Spinning Backfist at Barstool, or you could just put Robbie's name on it.
Like Ankalaev is very good. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's a fraud, anything like that. This line I just think is crazy. I think Lionheart's being super disrespected. He's going off 3 really good wins in a row. Like Ankalaev hasn't been like super impressive. He's fought maybe a little bit. What was his last fight? He fought Diego Santos. That was a fucking fight. He kind of just uses wrestling. No, I'm not super impressed. I don't
Anthony
like
Smith, good wrestler.
Like I think Smith can make this a really scrappy dogfight. And even if he loses, I think we're gonna look at this fight at the end and be like, how the fuck was he plus 350, 400? I really, really believe that. Also, I love that someone mentioned it. I mentioned it before too, before we started airing. His mother passed away a few months ago. I think there's gonna be some spirit with him in the cage. I like Lionheart a lot. I think he's gonna make this a really, really scrappy fight. I think he's going to make it a close fight. I think at plus 350, 400, you're getting a good price on him.
Smith inside the distance plus 750 is a crazy line.
Shit like that. I agree. Like I think take like his props inside the distance money line. I really think he's going to make this a really, really good fight.
Why did Smith leave Mark Montoya? That was mentioned by Jonathan Jones.
Where did he go to? I forget. But
my prediction for this, everybody, Ankalaev wins pretty handedly. Gets on the mic. Texas is booing him, and he says some like really out of pocket things on the mic. That's my remember that. So I quote tweeted earlier this week, but do you remember the scenes? He was walking out. I think it was the Jacksonville card. He was just walking out of the cage.
The fingers.
He was just and he was like, people would be congratulating him, do things, and then he would just look in the crowd and be like, "Fuck you."
Also, I asked Dana when we had him on. He basically said the winner of this fight is probably next in line.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're probably going to do the Glover-Yuri rematch, but the winner of this fight, considering like Rocket just hurt.
Yep.
I mean, Blachowicz, like getting the win like that wasn't I don't think he's worthy of getting a win off an injury and just getting right back for a title shot, especially the way to share. I mean, Glover dominated him. I think the winner of this fight, especially if they get a finish, the winner of this fight, I think definitely gets the next title shot.
Jonathan Jones says he's that Jimmo gym in South Carolina. That sounds like something you'd bring like your little cousin to.
No, that's the Weidman's gym.
I was gonna say, Weidman and like Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
The next fight is a flyweight bout, Pantoja versus Perez. I believe that's the next fight.
It is
versus Perez. I love the flyweight division. We saw some great flyweight.
This is gonna be a fun fight.
I think so too.
Long Island, and of course we have the flyweight co-main event. So there's like a lot of implications for that division as a whole throughout this card.
I love Pantoja.
Me too. I really like Pantoja.
I like
What's the line
I've
on
seen
this?
some love for
minus
Perez.
like 180.
I was gonna say I like him in it, but I could see Perez winning the fight.
I
too.
like Perez as like a guy and a fighter. I don't like compared to Pantoja. I just think he's a level below. That's my take on it.
I think this could sneaky be a fight of the night.
It could be. Perez could sneak up on me. When I say love, I don't think Pantoja's like a max play, but I think a decent sized play for me. I just think he's better. Also, I think it sets up very well if he wins. He beat Moreno twice, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that makes like that to be potentially
rematch.
a huge fight down the road.
He beat Moreno twice. Beat Carr.
Whoever wins,
he's
fought
fought some
winner.
He really is like his loss. I know he lost to Askarov like a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now, and kind of a snoot. Like Askarov just kind of controlled him. I don't know. I just think Pantoja's better.
I really can't believe Askarov lost to Carr up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, a good point by John Jones. Every fighter Perez has beat in the UFC is no longer on the roster.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So Pantoja's last 5 fights that he's had, rear naked over Brandon Royval, decision over Manel Cape, lost to Askarov, knocked out Schnell, lost to Fugit. And then Perez's last 5 fights, lost to guillotine to Davison. That was about a year,
and it was in like a minute, and it was
that was the title fight that
it was
came
super
in,
fast,
and it was in the middle of that summer. It was in Vegas, and it was like an armbar, right?
No, it was
guillotine.
He literally jumped guillotine in the first like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
and won.
Jussier Formiga, he beat by leg kicks, who is literally fighting in LFA right now. Jordan Espinoza, not on the roster, beat him by arm triangle. Mark De La Rosa, I don't know what he's doing, beat him by decision. And Joseph Benavidez,
he's supporting his wife. That's in the UFC.
He lost to and got knocked out. So if he's fought 2 good guys, I would say in Fugit and Benavidez, and lost to both of them.
Yeah,
like, to that standard that Pantoja, I believe, is at. I get Pantoja same time as Alves, minus 152. I really liked that price. Watching back though, Perez, his leg kicks are so good. He has really good leg kicks. Beat Formiga just by leg kicks.
Yeah.
I think the price is about right now. Pantoja inside the distance or late though isn't bad, like catching by his sub, or if he can control him on bottom. But it's going to be a very good fight. This is probably the title eliminator fight, whoever gets this.
Yeah, even to be honest, even at the price like 180, 200, I honestly like him still. Like I'm willing to lay that price. I just think he's better.
The next fight, Derrick Lewis continues to search for his win in Texas. He needs a huge win here over Sergey Pavlovich. There was a great clip earlier this week. Did you see Brett Okamoto asking him, "Hey, do you know who you're fighting this week?"
He said nope.
And he was like, "You guys got to stop tripping me up on these questions."
He literally had no idea who he is.
He's like, his name's Sergey. And he's like, "What's his last name?" He's like, "I think it begins with a P." I like Derrick Lewis here.
It scares me.
I like him too.
I think so. My thing is, I think if you're gonna take Derrick Lewis money line, just take him by knockout.
Yeah,
like I mean, I really like. You think he's gonna win a decision? Yeah. You think he's gonna win a decision?
Listen to me.
I know he did it against Francis, but that was a fluke.
That was
the great worst fight ever.
Derrick Lewis, blue belt Lewis, is coming out in this fight.
Stop.
He is coming out plus 3,000.
Put that comment.
Derrick
Lewis by guillotine.
Imagine.
Oh man, I'm dead serious. I am going to bet
Gogo Plata.
I love Derrick Lewis. I want Derrick Lewis to win very badly.
Twister. That's the fight.
Yeah. No, legitimately though, I don't think he should be the underdog.
I like him.
Sergey hits hard, but has 1 round of cardio. Derrick Lewis, he actually showed he could wrestle. He got 2 takedowns on Ty on the last fight.
Yeah.
And Pavlovich, it seemed in camp. So he knocked out Shamil last fight, right? In London. Shamil, he's old now, but they used to train. They used to train together like 5 years ago. And apparently in like that 5 years ago, Shamil could hit every takedown in the world against him. And he fights in like this nobody gym in Russia. He's not like at a big gym or nothing, not really practicing anything. I legitimately think Derrick Lewis can come out here and get takedowns or swing on the feet if he wants to late when he gets him tired.
Imagine Derrick Lewis just wet blanketing him for 3 rounds. just like grab.
I could see him getting takedowns.
Derrick Lewis always also had a new camp for this one. He left.
Yeah, he is. That's true.
He left Bob Perez, I believe, the guy with the handlebar mustache.
Yep.
So he's at a new camp. They said he really likes training now. Gets there earlier, stays later. So it sounds better, right?
The co-main event, flyweight, Brandon Moreno versus Kai Carr France 2. Their first fight was, I think, in like 2020, 2019, 2018, somewhere around then.
Awesome fight.
Awesome fight, and I expect this one to be no different. I do expect Moreno to win this, though.
I do, too. I like Moreno by sub as well.
I think it's going to be a good fight, but I think it's going to be, like you said, I think Moreno's probably going to get a finish.
I like from Moreno that it's 5 rounds.
Yeah,
that's something he's done that Kai hasn't really done, or at least not in a long time for sure. I don't think he's done it in the UFC.
Are the city kickboxing guys all going to be there? Are they still like? Did they ever move?
They never officially moved.
You know how they were supposed to move to America?
They talked about it. Yeah.
Then this fight.
I love Kai as like a person. Like I wouldn't be mad at all
as a fighter.
I wouldn't be mad at all if he won. But I just think Moreno's better.
I like so much more though. He's such a nerd.
I just think Moreno's more. I think Moreno's more well-rounded, and I think if he can get him, I think he can out-grapple.
He's definitely more well-rounded.
I think Moreno,
especially after the title fight,
what Moreno's done against Davison has been, even though like the last one he lost and
super close.
First one I thought he lost to, but he has shown so many aspects that I've just been so impressed by that. I'm like, this guy's just really, really good.
He's so durable.
I think the steps forward that he's going to take against Davison won't show up when he's facing Davison, but it will show up when he goes up against another guy Kai looked good against Askar.
His takedown defense was phenomenal. I'll give him credit for that.
But sure. Moreno, I just think Moreno's going to look in there and it's going to be like, oh, there's like, yeah, I don't know.
I think he's
I think the line is proper in terms of just the overall line and what it's looking at. I do favor Moreno if I had to pick a side. Maybe Moreno round 3, round 4, round 5.
I think the line should be closer though. In my like heart of hearts, I was really impressed by Kai Carr in the last one, but I think that Askarov was off that night. Like somehow like he was fighting in Columbus, Ohio. Like it's a little different.
That's sitting right here.
I'm from Columbus. I can say that.
Yeah, I couldn't take offense. So I lived there for 4 years.
I didn't know you're from Columbus.
Yeah, I lived there.
And then Askar didn't wrestle or like
he tried to, but like
he also hadn't fought in a long time.
Yeah,
his last fight was that Pantoja fight, which was like the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. The win probability for this fight is like Moreno 65%. Kai Carr 35%.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm on Kai Carr. I've decided.
Oh, flip.
A little flip.
I flipped into here. I just flipped.
See, I agree with your initial point that I think the line is like about just. The guy would have said Moreno minus like 200. I think makes sense. Maybe like a little less if you want, but I don't think you should be anything less than like 175. I think he's clearly the more well-rounded fighter. He's done the 5-round thing. He's fought. I mean, they both have fought very good competition, so I don't think it's a crazy. I think just he's fought Davison 3 times, who I think is better than anyone else that Kai's fought. So I think he's been in the cage with that line in the division and held his own. I mean, he dominated him the second fight. The first fight, I think he lost. I agree. Third fight was very, very close. Could have went either way. Yeah, I mean, Moreno by sub, I think, is like the best line in of all the props, because I think that's where he has the biggest edge. On the feet, I think they're very close. And Kai's an absolute dog. So, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Kai won, because I'm a big fan of his just like in general, but I think Moreno's is the better fighter.
Also,
I'm
for
too British to get the regional U.S. banter. Shout out
Talking
to
about Columbus.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
Columbus is like, geez, what would I compare Columbus to in England? It's not a
Burnley?
Manchester.
Burnley?
I was going to say Burnley. That's what I was going to say.
Nottingham.
Nottingham's kind of like
I don't
coastal
know.
London.
I don't know
think.
England nearly enough to make a comparison.
Yeah, I don't even.
I'd say
Burnley.
I'd say Burnley, if anywhere. Swansea,
Yeah, Swansea. Yeah,
it's kind of out in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere.
kind of. Yeah, and it's further up.
Yeah,
It's not near like coasts.
Swansea.
Swansea. Yeah.
Swansea, Ohio.
Yeah, Moreno though is also training with
James Krause.
James Krause for this fight.
Kansas City.
So he
He's
switched
from
camps.
Sheffield. Shout out Sheffield.
Oh, nice.
Are they? Is Sheffield back in the Premier League this season?
That's
I
a you
have no
question.
idea.
Ah,
That's for you.
Damn.
The main event, Juliana Pena defends her title against Amanda Nunez, the female GOAT. A lot of people would say, where's the line for this?
So
I've been personally flipping back and forth. all week.
Pena's plus like 240, 230.
and that makes me think like Pena. Of course,
So
like that's
I-
way too much.
So
Nunez
I-
minus 286, Pena plus 225.
So
How could you not bet?
Put
that?
her in the parlay.
I love Pena, and I love the stat that a few people have brought up this week that in these title fights where the challenger takes the belt in the rematch, the person who won the first fight's 11-2, which I think is
Wow.
a stat to take seriously. I will say this just to play a little devil's advocate, even though I'm going to be betting Pena and I like Pena in this fight. I will say this: I think Nunez. I'm curious here on the scale. I think she looks in much better shape.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like just physically seeing her, you can
she's been
see
saying it.
the
too.
stomach looks better. Like she just looked like I feel like the last time.
She said she's remotivated by the loss.
Agree. I think that's fair. I just think there's something with Pena is just a dog.
She is
Even
And-
just
and
the way
self-belief.
she was in here, even after winning the title. I think she hates. Thank you for clarifying, T-Pain. The immediate rematch and the immediate rematch. They're 11-2.
Yes.
I think Pena she just has that dog in her that you can just tell she's not satisfied. Like she wants to really solidify. Like I think if she wins this fight, then you can start like talking about is she like one of the best women's fighters of all time?
Yeah.
I think Nunez. I think you kind of talked about in your interview with Dana. I remember like,
Yep.
and I kind of agree with what he said. Like you can't take away the legacy. Like Nunez still is the GOAT, and I agree with that. But if Pena goes and beats her again like this, she definitely makes like her claim and like starts to get in that conversation, especially if she could go on around and post that. But she just has that dog. I think there's something with fighting that's different in other sports where there's just something about like, listen, Nunez, I think is more talented. I think she hits harder. I think she probably's better like all around. But there's just something about like Juliana Pena that I think she just wants it more. And I think especially if this goes into the later rounds, I think it just favors Pena. Like I just think she just has the ability to dig deeper. You saw it, she can stand and trade with her, and we'll see like how different Nunez looks if she was just so ridiculously out of shape, and maybe she comes in and just runs through her. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet on Pena in this fight. I really like her.
I wouldn't be
I like her
shocked if
mentality.
Nunez won by any
No,
means,
I
but-
wouldn't be shocked because she's super talented. She's a female GOAT.
Yeah.
But I just think Nunez.
Pena's gonna win.
I just think Pena just has that little extra something in her. Like she's just different. I think she wants it more, and I think it's something too when you think about how much money Amanda Nunez has made.
Yeah. She's got a daughter now. She's got a wife. She's like satisfied.
She's made a significant amount of money. You think she's been getting points on these fights for a long time. She's been the champ for a long time. She's made a lot of money. And I think Juliana Pena is out here fighting for her daughter's college fund.
Yeah.
Which that is just and that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Like
that's
Amanda's like, I got nothing left to prove.
Amanda's got
almost.
tons of money. Like I just think there's like a different level of like when you're out here fighting for like put food on the table for the kids. And Pena's not like she's like broke, but I'm just saying she's out here trying to like really
trying to set something up now.
Like I just think it's
the
like I
future.
just think there's something different when you compare those two. And I like Pena.
Something to mention: Nunez is not fighting at American Top Team anymore.
She's got her own gym.
Yeah, she basically bought like a warehouse space.
And she paid like one of the American Top Team striking coaches to basically be her head corner for this fight. And that's really it. That's all we've seen on like the look-ins for the fights
She
through
might
the
have
UFC
her
for
wife in her corner.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be
no,
shocked.
that wouldn't be crazy by any means. I think that a good parlay piece is like fight doesn't go to decision for this one. Like minus,
I like
minus
that.
286.
I like that.
There is going to be tension. They are both going to come out and they are both going to want it.
Someone brought up in the chat that Jermaine Durandamy subbed Pena.
Yeah.
So
yes,
Nunez
perfect.
being able to sub them. It's up at the top. Jonathan Jones. Shout out Jonathan Jones.
Thank you for bringing this up, Jonathan Jones, because this is I think this is a crazy line. It's fight to end by decision. Prop on Barstool Sportsbook right now is plus 350. That's an insane line. Insane prop, I think.
By decision?
No, by submission.
Oh, submission.
Especially if she's almost minus 300 on the money line.
Exactly. Like Nunez can win by a submission. Pena can win by submission,
Pena
as we
could
saw.
also, like
they can both win by
club
submission.
and sub.
They can both do it by any means. I really like fight ends by submission plus 350 for this fight. Really
I
like
actually
it.
like that too. It makes me want to go on the sports book the second I get back to Jersey and bet that.
Yeah, shout out T-Pain. I love some MMA math too.
For a second, I was like, shout out T-Pain. Where did that come from? But it's T-Pain from the chat, not T-Pain.
Okay.
Singer-songwriter.
Like Nunez, I don't know. Like how is she going to fix everything that happened in the last fight? She got Pena in the second round. Now I saw Jonathan Jones talking about it in the chat. He's the chat MVP today because he's brought up some great points. Maybe she had she did have COVID, right? Because they had to like delay. She had to like pull out a fight or something. Maybe it was that. But even I don't know if I don't know everything about long COVID and whatnot. But I don't know if like a 6-month span is going to really change that much. And she's going up against Pena, and Pena in that second round. Like, it wasn't like she caught her with like a crazy
She was
leg
piecing
kick.
her up.
Dude, she
On the
was
feet.
piecing her up with the jab. The female MMA GOAT was getting fucked up by a jab by Juliana Pena. Like, I think I get why Nunez is the GOAT. She beat Shevchenko twice. She ran through Nunez. She ran through Cyborg. Like, she ran through some serious fighters. And
she was a killer.
She was a killer. I'm not going to say she's a bum now, but she's just like,
don't call her a bum.
She looked so weird in that fight. And maybe it was just something was off. Maybe it was the COVID. Maybe she overlooked her. I guess.
Jack Mac, satin sheets.
Yeah.
Satin sheets.
Yeah.
I just feel it in my bones.
Me too. It's like,
Pain. I think Pain is.
And when she was in here, it wasn't like she was like, I climbed to the top. She was like, no. Nunez is posing with that fake title.
Yeah.
There's like 5 fighters at 145.
It pissed her off. Like, actually pissed her off.
Shout out Life.
Hey, Life, blow me, you fucking loser. How's that, you big pussy? Why don't you come say it to our face?
No, don't block him.
Don't block him. Don't block him.
Don't block him.
What do you got to say, Life?
Yeah.
Call me a schmiegel, you fucking clown.
I don't even know what that means.
What's a schmiegel?
No, I say schmiegel. I don't even know what it means.
I think
either.
I'm the
Sounds
schmiegel.
good.
Anorexic schmiegel.
Oh, yeah.
We're the sloppy fat fucks.
Yeah.
Which that's not really fair to you to put me and you in the same category, but
who?
I'm the schmiegel.
You are, Life. Yeah, you are, buddy.
Am I supposed
Pal?
to be scared of your bitch?
All right. We're not talking
we
about.
would definitely fuck Life up in a 3-on-1.
Yeah, you should. Okay. Okay, stop playing. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that. No, don't block him. No, we wanted Life.
Lee puts
It's
Life
all
in a
right.
timeout.
All right, whatever. Shout out to thanks for the show, Life. He'll be back at 5.
What are we
Anyways,
looking at for the parlay this week?
Yeah, just put our parlay is just Pena.
Who's not Pena boosted?
Pena boosted.
So I was looking at it a little bit earlier.
Just to finish
I'm
on
just
Pena when
brainstorming.
we're doing
Do we want to actually throw Pena in the parlay? Say fuck it. She was a good guest for
It'll
Spinnin
be a
Backfist.
monster.
Imagine
Pena and
Yo,
one other.
Should we just go crazy? Maybe do like a
Anthony Smith.
I wasn't gonna get that crazy. I was gonna say literally do like Derrick Lewis Pena.
Derrick Lewis Pena.
Derrick Lewis Pena would be plus 566. Just the two
That's
of them.
yeah. I mean,
And then I would probably get boosted like plus, and it makes up for all the ones we've been losing.
Could even if honestly
would bring us up units like that.
or if you want to get crazy, if you want to put like Pantoja and Moreno would get it to 1400.
I don't think if we're going Pena Lewis, we shouldn't keep going.
Should we just go the two of them?
We would send
I
that to
like the
the
two of
sports
them.
book, and they'd be like, "Wait a second, did you guys mean
Smith,
that?"
Pantoja, Lewis, Pena is plus 919.
Lewis,
Oh my
Lewis,
God.
Anthony Smith, and Pena is plus almost 3,200. Nah, I like I said, I'm betting Anthony Smith. I love Anthony Smith. We can't put him in the parlay.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
I legitimately would do Lewis Pena.
I'd do that.
We're not betting Hamdi.
We're not betting Hamdi in the parlay. Let's do Lewis Pena.
And that's good because it's just the main card and it's two like pretty big names.
Big
All right,
name.
let's do
People
it.
want to bet on Lewis anyway.
So the two of them is
So
plus
we'll get that boosted.
566.
That'll be some,
Just a
some
double
juicy,
dog,
juicy
dog
odds.
parlay.
Yeah. So look
The
out for
first
that
ever.
on the Barstool Sportsbook. And if you're in Atlantic City tomorrow night, Pub
Yes.
Punk is playing. So come out and see the show. It's going to be fun. And then I'm going to be in Philly the next day, like during the day, for Sad Summerfest. So if anyone's going to be at that concert,
Nice.
say hey. And
Hell
then
yeah.
I'm leaving the second the fight start, though. I'm like getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, like the stream,
Thanks for
comment,
tuning in. All 125 of you
subscribe.
right now.
make sure to add on.
Yeah.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you guys next
We
week.
love you.